Hello, and welcome to Connecting Tucson with Jaime Overturf, broadcasting from Mark Bishop Media, situated in Stewart Title corporate offices right off of Broadway in Tucson, Arizona. Connecting Tucson is all about connecting our community, local businesses, and organizations to help our community grow and thrive. Today we're talking with Candace Eaton, the owner and founder of Capturing Everybody Photography, and Jake Jacobs and Paul Long from the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, 32-2, a nonprofit association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. So first off, thank you all for coming. I'm just going to give a quick bio for my listeners so they know who we're talking to, and then we're going to jump right in, okay?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Candace was born and raised in Tucson, so she is a fifth-generation Tucsonian, which is rare to find. She attended the University of Arizona, where she received a BS in ecology and evolutionary biology, and has a MS in molecular and cellular biology, focusing on genetics. That is very, very impressive.
Thank you.
And a mouthful for me to say, but congratulations. Next to her, we have Jake, who was born in Tucson and went to Pierce Junior College, then joined the Navy in 1969. He served as an electronics technician, radar, in the amphibious forces in Vietnam. Next to him is Paul. He joined the Army in 1989 as an infantry soldier and changed MOS after re-enlisting to engineer. Paul has been stationed most of his career at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, as a master jump master, and been deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq. Thank you all for coming on the show, and thank you both for your service to our country. I really appreciate that. So we're going to jump right in, and I'm just going to go from right to left, and we're going to go ahead and start with Candace, if that's okay with you.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Candace, what I'd like to know, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you started Capturing Everybody Photography, because going from science to photography seems like a complete 180, but I'm sure there's something in there that sparked it.
There is. So I'm one of those weirdos who decided to go to college a lot later than everybody else. And I did my 2 degrees and I got out, and my intention was to go into the biotech industry. And I spent almost 10 years in the biotech industry as a product development engineer and a quality engineer. And one morning I woke up and realized I was going to end up being a cautionary tale.
Oh, no.
And dropped dead of a heart attack in a cubicle farm at 40 years old. And I figure if I drop dead of a heart attack at 40 years old, it better be somewhere way better than in the middle of a cubicle farm. And so I decided it was time for a change, and I had this photography business that had been trying to be a business in the background that I was actively avoiding making money from it for a while, just because I didn't want to deal with the taxes and the licensing and the whole thing. And so I was like, I got this thing. It's been trying to be a business. I may as well see what I can do with it. And started the process of moving out of the industry that I was in and starting up this business. Of course, I tried to start it up in 2019, at the end of 2019, right before 2020 showed up. And
That would be a difficult time to start a business.
I've made better choices.
Well, you never know. I think it could still be a very win-win for you.
I'm sure it can be. And I got into pet photography because when I first picked up a camera, I couldn't get friends or family members to model for me so that I could learn how to use the camera. And you can only take so many pictures of the same flower before it just gets boring. And so I started taking my camera over to Pima Animal Care Center on the weekends and sitting outside on the path where the volunteers walk the dogs around and taking pictures of the dogs as they came by. And then as I started getting better, I'd send some of the pictures in to the volunteer coordinators and be like, here, you can put this on your website. And it got to the point where I was taking so many pictures, they were like, look, you need to join us and learn how to do this because you're making more work for me. So I just sort of tripped and fell into the pet photography thing. And I really like that I can use it. I started working with PAC and doing pictures for them regularly. And then I started doing fundraisers for them, started with Christmas cards. And then bigger and bigger fundraisers. And I like that it's something I can use it to help these pets out. And that's kind of my,
So
pet
how does your background in science help you with the photography? I remember you saying something about that.
Yeah, so I felt like I had a pretty quick learning curve with the camera, but when I started looking at all of the different components of a camera and the factors that go into making a picture, a camera is literally first semester physics.
Oh.
Everything about the camera. It's like, oh, I already did that in physics class. I know all of these concepts and, you know, the size of the hole that the shutter is creating and how that allows you to see, you know, more or less depth of field, or, you know, how quick the shutter moves, lets in more or less light.
Okay, so that makes sense. I couldn't connect the dots there for a second. I'm like, how does like, seriously, how does science go into pet photography? That is 100% true and accurate. Tell us about capturing everybody photography, because that is kind of a buddy photography. That is kind of a unique name. It's everybody, like every BUDDY.
Okay, did you bring tissues?
No, did I need tissues?
You might.
Oh, jeez.
So the dog I had for 12 years was Buddy. I got him at PAC when he was probably 6 months old. PAC is Pima Animal Care Center. When he was about 6 months old, and he was with me for about 12 years. And he actually passed away just like the same month I decided to start my business. Like, I'm starting my business. 2 days later, my dog dies. And I had already been working with the everybody, but I was using like body as in, you know, I'll take pictures. Body. Right. I'll take pictures of all things and all people and the whole thing. But as I was kind of finding my niche in pet photography, and then after he died, I was like, okay, well, this'll work, capturing everybody. And it was kind of, you know, it was his name, but it was also funny because people tend to call dogs they don't know Buddy. And so anytime we'd run into a stranger out on a walk or something, they'd be like, hey, Buddy. And he'd get all excited like, oh, my God, they know me.
That's true. I never even realized. I'm like, hey there, how you doing, Buddy? I say that myself. So, yeah. And I know people, and me included, don't think as dogs as pets or their fur babies as pets. They're part of the family. Yeah. So they, this is totally something that I would do and I need to do. And I already told you that. I've already got that in motion. But you don't just photograph dogs. You photograph other things too. So what products and services do you offer?
So pet photography is kind of my main focus, but I also offer family photography. I encourage families to participate in the photos with their pets. Senior photography. So seniors, like high school seniors who are preparing to graduate, that's a really important time in their life to memorialize. Also, product branding and personal branding photos I do.
Oh. What does that look like?
So I just recently did some product branding photos for someone in one of my networking groups. And we sat down and we talked about, like, who are the people who buy your products the most? What are they purchased for? Things like that. And he said he makes this like a coaster or a tray that you can put on one side. You can put your whiskey glass, and on the other side you can put your cigar. Oh. And he etches. These guys are like, ooh.
Jake's looking at her going, okay, let's do this.
and he can etch logos and designs and names and stuff into the wood, and he makes it all by hand. They're really neat pieces. And so we sat down and we talked about these, and he's like, oddly enough, the people who buy these the most are women to give for groomsmen gifts at their weddings. And so, I sent him to go look through magazines. I'm like, go find high-end product ads that you like the look and the feel of. Like, go buy a Vogue magazine. Go buy a Men's Health magazine. Go through them. Find these ads that you like the look and the feel of. That way we can develop a look and a feel around your brand and your products that makes people feel the way you want them to feel when they see these pictures.
That is an important aspect.
It was kind of funny when I sent him all the proofs, and I had intentionally taken some shots of a flat lay, which is a wedding photographer thing where they take, little details from the weddings, like in the wedding bands and, boutonnieres and different details. And so I went to Target and bought a bunch of men's stuff, shoes, belts, a tie, some socks, and had them all in a little box and everything. And I did a couple of flat lays, and he didn't pick either one of those pictures. And so I had to go back and I'm like, okay, you did say that the majority of your clients are these women who are getting married, right? And he's like, well, yeah. I was like, so these photos here are the ones that I set up for that? He's like, I don't even know what that is. I was like, but a bride will.
Yeah, that's your targeting into them. Yes, exactly.
Like a bride will know what she's looking at. Just because you don't, she will. I was like, if they're buying it for their weddings, this is what a groomsman gift, and this is a flat lay. It's like, oh, okay, I better put that on the website too then.
There you go. Well, that is so awesome. I never even realized that you did that product and, that type of graduation or product shooting. So that is just another layer to you besides pets, which sounds very interesting. So I also know that when we you spoke briefly about how you like to support other local businesses and nonprofits. Can you tell us about how you're doing that?
So to support local businesses, I try to make sure that the things that I purchase for my business, my products are made here in Tucson. So all of my prints, if you buy a canvas or a metal print, it's printed at a printer here in Tucson. Nice. And previously I was using a national lab. They're a little bit less expensive. They're actually a high-end national lab. But when I started using the company here in Tucson, they're called Centric Photo. Their product is so much better.
Really? Well,
every time I go
shout out to Centric Photo.
Oh my gosh. Every time I go pick something up from them, I'm like, oh my God, I love it.
That is awesome. I love, that's part of the reason why I love when I was looking at your business and kind of doing something. You shop local, you help the local nonprofits, and you actually do help PAC as well, and a couple others. And how do you help them?
So I do fundraisers for nonprofits pretty regularly. Okay. I have several different fundraiser models. I donate gift certificates for photo sessions to groups that are doing auctions. I donate pet photo sessions, senior photo sessions, family photo sessions. And then one of the other models is a photo day. So like I'll set up in a location. Sometimes it's the nonprofit's office or whatever. I set up my studio setup and we schedule throughout the day clients to come in. And the sitting fee, I donate 100% of the sitting fee to that nonprofit. Oh, and nice. 10% of the profits from anything else that I sell that day goes to the nonprofits as well. And then with Friends of PAC, actually, I just finished a calendar contest. It was my first calendar contest. I was, fingers crossed we might raise a few $1,000s. I was really excited about the idea. But we ended up raising $22,000.
Wow.
Yeah, yes. Just from the contest. And now we have the calendars to sell. And Tucson Electric Power has sponsored us to print the calendars for us.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they're going to help us sell them. And they're like, I was like, my goal of these calendars to sell is 500. That gives us another $10,000. That would put us at 32,000. Like I would just
that is amazing.
Be beside myself, thrilled with this if it worked out. And the woman at TEP goes, only 500? I was expecting for us to sell at least 500 by ourselves.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Like, yes.
That is phenomenal. And again, that is part of why I love about you and your business and how you go out and you not just support the local, but you support the nonprofits as well. And speaking of some nonprofits, we have two amazing gentlemen who are sitting right next to you. They are members of our Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, located right here in Tucson. Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing today? I'm going to have each of you tell me just a little bit about yourselves. And Jake, I'm going to have you go first.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about your background and what brought you to the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. That is a mouthful. And moving forward, I'm going to say CVMA. Okay?
Sounds good. As you mentioned earlier, I did go to Pierce College in Woodland Hills, California. And then I joined the military immediately following that. But I continued my college education by doing correspondence courses while in the Navy with Brigham Young and University of Arizona. After I got out of the service, I went into avionics, and I worked as a technician for Sperry Rand Corporation, doing avionics, aero logistics stuff. That was kind of boring to me because I never saw anything move. It was all electronic. So
that can never be fun.
No, not for me. It wasn't anyway. So I moved from there into logistics, and spent 35 years in upper management logistics for numerous companies, running different companies worldwide. I've had offices in Hong Kong and London, and most of my business was related to the entertainment industry.
Just amazing. So what brought you into the CVMA?
CVMA is an organization where I started riding motorcycles again. And
always fun in Arizona.
And eventually, I discovered CVMA. I don't remember how I found out about it, but I did. And it sort of fit the niche I was looking for. It was a nonprofit. The creed for the organization is Vets Helping Vets. And that hit a note with me as well. And after my retirement, I had nothing much to do but sit back, watch TV, play games and solitaire. So I decided to join CVMA, and now I'm spending most of my time volunteering for them.
And it is a wonderful organization that I am happy and proud to be a part of. So thank you again for your service. Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how and why you chose the CVMA?
Hello, I'm Paul Long. I joined the military in 1989. I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, and did 23 years in the military, Afghanistan, Iraq tour, and then got brought back to Tucson by Safeway. Safeway hired me on as a manager here at Golf Links in Wilmot. And CVMA brought me in. It was an organization that I believed in. It was Vets Helping Vets, coming in and helping all Southern Arizona here is just great. All the money we raise and all our fundraising stays here in Southern Arizona. It doesn't go anywhere else. And that's how I got involved in CVMA.
That is amazing, and part of the reason why I'm also a part of this as well. So this can be for either of you, whoever wants to answer this question. Please tell us about Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, or CVMA, and what you guys are all about. I know your creed is Vet Helping Vets, but tell us a little bit about the CVMA.
Well, CVMA was organized approximately 19 years ago, and has become a national, it's actually a worldwide organization.
I did not know that.
Yeah, with chapters worldwide. And what we do is we're not all 501(c)(3)s, but we all do benefits and events to raise money to help veterans in our local communities, in our local states. Tucson here, like Paul stated, all the funds we raise here in Arizona stay within Arizona. We have a various number of different charities, veteran-related charities that we support and work with. We work with Boulder Crest, which is a resort for rehabilitation for not just only veterans, but they also believe first responders.
Yes, they are.
So, we do work for them. We provide them with monetary funds if upon request. And we also do what's called hands-on labor. We do sweat equity. If they need it, like painting fences, helping build corrals, or whatever it takes.
All right.
We also do fill the pantry at Esperanza and Escalante, which is transitional housing for homeless vets. And we also do sweat equity there as well. We've gone out there and rebuilt their garden and maintained their garden. We also work with women warriors. We work with Tucson Veteran Serving Vets, which is they hold a stand down, which they provide resources, food for homeless vets, their families, and also their pets.
All right. And do you do anything with the local Fisher House too?
We also do the Fisher House. Fisher House gets some of our money, as well as we nationally reach across America.
All right. And how do you guys choose the organizations and benefits that you guys work with? Because I know every chapter is a little bit different. It's all about Vets Helping Vets, but how do you guys decide on how that works?
Well, the ones that we service regularly are Fisher House and Esperanza and Escalante with the pantry.
Okay.
The other ones are requests from different organizations for funds to help either individual veterans, or organizational things that they're doing. Like maybe they're having an event and they need help getting that event rolling, so we sponsor them with some funds. Everything that comes through our organization is vetted by the chapter, and then we select, or we either approve or disapprove whether we're going to provide funds for that person or that organization.
All right, so individual vets can also benefit from...
That is correct. If an individual vet needs help with maybe a utility payment, a car payment, needs work done on their house, or has somebody in the hospital, and then needs help, or maybe hotel stay, we help them with that as well.
That is phenomenal, and again, part of the reason that I love partnering with you guys. You are just amazing. What are some of the CVMA's goals and hopes? And that can be either you or Paul.
Take that, Paul.
Goals and hopes.
Goals and hopes.
Our goals are to help every vet that needs help out in the community right now. And our hopes are to raise as much money to help these vets out in the community. And with everybody's help, we can get that money, and the money, like I said, stays within southern Arizona, and it helps vets in the community here. And it even helps at-risk vets. A vet could come up to me on the street corner and ask me for help, and I'll vet them out, and we'll send it to the board and vote on it, and we'll try to help them out. And it's not just money given to them, and it's not a Band-Aid fix. We try to get them the right area to go to help them out farther their goals.
Excellent. And again, part of the reason that I love doing what there. You have some lofty goals. I just hit my knee for those of you that didn't know. So yeah, some lofty goals, and I love the fact that you're helping vets. I'm sorry I hit my funny bone. It's not very funny. Ow.
That's what happened.
All right, so moving on. I know we've got some benefits that are coming up, and we'll talk about that in the moment. And I am here to help you achieve those goals, as well as helping everyone who has a nonprofit here. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Connecting Tucson with Jaime, where we focus on connecting our community and local businesses and organizations to help our community grow and thrive. As your local insurance agent professional for all insurance needs, I know how important it is to make new and lasting connections in our community. You never know how a connection is going to create that spark or pull you in a unique direction that you never thought you would go in. If you're a small business owner or involved in a community project and you want to be featured on this show, please feel free to give me a call. All of my information is on TucsonBusinessRadioX.com. Actually, Mark Bishop Media's. My bad. And I would love to hear from you. We were just talking with Candace Eaton, the owner of Capturing Everybody Photography, and Jake Jacobs and Paul Long from our local Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. So, Jake, we had just mentioned just a few moments ago that the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association is all about vets helping vets. You achieve this through fundraisers, benefits, and other events. And you have a pretty major charity event coming up, if I do recall, on November 13th. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it is?
Yeah, our biggest fundraiser of the year is our annual golf tournament. And this year it'll be our 5th annual Boots on the Green charity golf tournament, being held for the 3rd year at the Tucson National Omni.
And it's a beautiful course.
Yes, this year we're playing on the Sonoran course.
Oh, okay.
Last year we played on the Catalina, and the way they handle the golf courses there is they're odd and even days for the different courses.
Okay.
So this year we have the Sonoran course. And the event last year, in the midst of COVID, was a sellout.
Nice.
And this year we're about probably 80% of the way to maxing out or having another sellout.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, so we're always looking for golfers, sponsors, raffle prizes, swag items.
So do you still have enough room for golfers, and are you still looking for some sponsors?
The golf tournament is limited to 144 golfers, but we will accommodate, if there's an overflow, as much as we can.
Okay.
I think we're allowed about a 10% overflow.
Okay, wonderful. So an additional 14.
Yeah,
or so.
and we are always looking for sponsors. We can never find enough sponsors. We're trying to grow the tournament annually. Like I said, this is our 5th year. And this year we have a bunch of different events, as we do almost every year on the course. We have our hole-in-one, where a golfer can win a golf cart. We have our longest drive. We have closest to the pin. And one of the more fun events is the air cannon, where people can pay to have their golf ball shot out of an air cannon, and then they play it from where it lands on the green.
Yeah, we just pretend that we shoot that, and we swung the club.
Watch it sail 300 yards.
It works. Hey, it's bragging rights, right?
Right.
So, what kind of sponsors are you still looking for? Is there any major sponsorships that are out there that you still need to fulfill?
Well, our largest sponsorship is a tournament sponsor, which is a $10,000 sponsor.
Okay.
Which we have not fulfilled. We have our commander back this year again, which is $5,000 sponsor, and that's Spartan Arms.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Spartan Arms.
They've been with us for 3 years, and they do a great job. We also have some other long-term sponsors that have been with us since the inception of the tournament, like Crying Onion Cafe.
Oh, they're fun. I love their pancakes.
So, they cover the whole plate. I know that much.
I know. All right. So not everyone's able to actually golf. There's not many, so they might not know that is there any other way to, I guess, help the CVMA or the Boots on the Green?
Yes, we have 2 different websites that they can go to. They can go to our chapter website and learn more about the organization and what we do, and that's at CVMA32-2.com. And there's also the tournament site, which is Boots on the Green, CVMA.com. And at that website, at that site, they can also register to play golf. They can register to become a sponsor. They can notify us if they have a raffle prize. And they can also make donations.
Excellent.
They can make donations on either site, actually.
Wonderful. And if you didn't catch that, don't worry. It's going to be up on the site. So you'll be able to click and directly go to their links, whichever you'd like to support. So we are going to help you get the word out and reach your goals this year because it is such an important cause. So, Candace, do you happen to golf perchance?
I don't. I just don't.
No, it's okay. I'm
I've got
not
some
the
good
best.
stories about me trying to golf.
Oh, I have some good stories about my husband trying to golf and actually killing a couple of bunnies behind him. I'm not sure how that happened, but long story short, we may have to work on that.
I won the shortest drive one year in a golf tournament because I tipped the ball and it went behind me.
So, that golf ball doesn't always listen. It doesn't always go into the little hole like it's supposed to. Sometimes it goes off to the right. Sometimes it goes off to the left. In the case of my husband, it goes to the back. I'm not sure how he does that. He's like almost every other golf tee off, his golf ball goes behind him. But we'll get that there. It's kind of challenging. But speaking of challenging, I am sure it can be very challenging photographing pets. What is the hardest thing about photographing pets that you have found in your line of business?
The hardest thing about photographing pets is often their people.
Ooh. I think we're getting into some juicy details. Do tell.
Everybody wants to help.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of times they want to get their dog to sit down and act right and look at me. And a lot of times what happens is they'll stand looking at me and get the dog to sit down. What happens then is that I've got the dog between us with their back to me looking at the owner.
Oh.
And they're like, okay, sit down. And then they're like, oh, now look at the camera. That's probably not going to work. So I spend most of the time spend almost as much time directing the owners how to help me if they want to help me.
So what are some things they can do to help you? So we can limit that and streamline the process for you. What are some of the things that owners can do to help?
One of the quickest ways is to actually stand between me and the dog with your back to me.
Oh, okay.
Because then the dog will sit down looking at you, and then all you have to do is step out of the way, and I've got the dog sitting down looking at me.
Okay.
One of my other tricks is a lot of times I'll have a client standing off to the side, and so the dog's sitting with their side to me looking at the client off in one direction, and they can't, they try to tell the dog, look at the camera, but it's just not.
Yeah,
it's not a trick they're trained for, right?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, no, I don't know what those words are.
Yeah.
So what I tell them is, okay, now get their attention with that treat, and now throw that treat right at my face. And I mean, right at my face.
Really?
Yeah. Don't.
So you have people throwing treats at you?
Yeah. a lot of times they're like, this is weird, and they'll just sort of toss it and it lands part way and the dog's looking down at the ground.
It doesn't do what
and I'm
you
like,
need it to
I'm like,
do.
no, I need you to throw it at my head. Hit me with the treat. I'm good with it. As long as we're not, throwing forks and knives, it's solid.
I can only imagine you doing your shoots. Like you need to get some like behind the scenes of people actually throwing the treats at you.
I
need
really
to see
do.
those action candid shots.
Pictures of her getting hit.
I need, I need the behind the scenes of people throwing dog treats at me and me rolling around in the dirt.
That would be like phenomenal on your website. Just thought I'd throw that up. I mean, this sounds close to my dream job, but like my photography skills are like subpar at best. I barely get my dog to look at me because she's like, no, that shit's out again. Like I can't do that. No, it's not working. So, I'm like, I guess, what do you love best about what you do, and why should people choose you over somebody else?
I love that I get to produce something that people can keep of their pets.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know when we walk into getting a dog that chances are pretty good we're going to live longer than that dog is. Mm-hmm. And what I think, like you said, our pets are our family. And,
Exactly.
And a lot of people, like, we've got tons of pictures on our phones. That's the first thing that most people do when they, oh my gosh, you're a pet photographer. Look at Fluffy. And they show me all the pictures on their phone. There we go. And
You don't want to know what Fluffy is in my house. It's a snake.
oh, I spent last weekend at the expo, the reptile expo, and photographing reptiles there. So yeah, no, I have no problem with photographing those. I got to photograph
There
some
you go,
Gila
folks.
monsters. Actually, that was really cool.
Wow.
So I like the fact that I can, create something that you can remember those moments with your pets. People do it with their kids. They have newborn photos and 6-month photos and 1-year photos and 2-year photos and entire walls in their house covered with pictures of their kids. And, for a lot of us, like, our pets are kind of like our kids. And
sometimes behave better. Just throwing that plug out there.
Sometimes. So I love being able to produce something for people that, that they feel like, yeah, this pet is a part of my family, and I can do something that, when you go over to your friend's house and see all their kids' pictures on the wall, and you're like, oh, well, I have a dog. I don't have dog pictures. Well, you can have dog pictures.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. One of my prized possession, about a year before Buddy died, I hired someone to take pictures of us, and now I have that picture hanging on my wall in my bedroom. And if my house is on fire and I got to grab one thing and run out the door, it's going to be that picture on the wall.
Absolutely.
Everything else in my
house.
house is insured. That is priceless.
Yep.
And that's coming with me.
I 100% agree. So what makes your business so unique? What is unique about your business?
I think one of the most unique things is how I work with the nonprofits, and that's like a central focus of my business, is working with nonprofits and helping out homeless pets, helping out other nonprofits. I've done fundraisers with Make-A-Wish. I donate, like I said, I donate gift certificates on a pretty regular basis. I've donated to just recently to the CDO grad night fundraiser.
Okay.
And
you do guarantee your prints, right? 100% satisfaction, if I recall, on your website?
Yep. That's pretty unheard of in the photography industry. A lot of times I go on photography threads and there's conversations about, well, it's my artwork and I'm doing it my way. And I'm like, I'm not the one who has to look at those pictures every day.
Right.
You have to look at those pictures
and
every day. And I want you to be happy with those pictures. And so, yeah, if we do a session and we put the photos, we do your image reveal and you see the photos and you're like, I just don't like any of those. We'll do another session.
And you don't charge extra for that session?
No.
That is unheard of.
Like I said, what I'm doing is it's for you, and if we didn't get it right the first time, let's do it again. I do a pre-session consultation. We spend about 30 to 45 minutes on the phone planning your session so that we can avoid that situation. But should it happen, yeah, we'll do it again. If I get my prints back and I bring them to your house and you're like, that is just not what I expected that to look like after you were done editing it, I'll re-edit it and order you new prints because I want my clients to be happy with the product that I produced.
That is phenomenal. You can tell that you have your heart and soul into this business, and you're really not going to die that death at 40 in a cubicle somewhere. And if you do, you're going to be happy about what you're doing because you're going to have pets making you smile the whole time, all the way.
I'm always covered in dirt. I smell a little bit like dog pee, but I get more kisses than you do.
I love it. Oh my God, I'm going to be using that moving forward. Oh goodness. And speaking of putting your heart and your soul in a business and an organization, I have said this before, but I've had the pleasure of assisting the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, the Boots on the Green tournament specifically for the past 3 years. The man hours, the dedication, the volunteers that you guys pull to go do this. You pull out all the stops to make it a truly unique event. If someone were to purchase a foursome, what are they going to expect? What can they expect from the golf tournament? What can they get when they do that?
Well, first of all, get a phenomenal play of golf out at the Omni.
Perfect.
They'll get a luncheon. We do have raffle prizes, and we do have an auction items that are out there for them to bid on. And
any auction items you want to tell our guests about?
Right now, we're still trying to collect some auction items. Right now, we have a handmade wooden ice chest with an American flag on it, which is similar to the one we had last year, which actually went for more than what the value of the ice chest was worth, which is very nice. Last year, we had some watches. We had a pizza oven. An outdoor pizza oven.
Nice.
We had some cigars and humidors. We had a variety of different things that are out there. We have all kinds of different things this year. We have numerous foursomes that were donated from different golf courses around the community. We have a couple of hotel stays. We have watches again this year. We have handmade quilts and blankets. We have whiskey. We have more cigars and humidors. We have a whole variety. I can't name them all because I can't remember them all now.
No, that's okay. And I think I'm safe to say that I actually just secured for your organization a spa for 8.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So for 8 people, I'm not going to say women, even though it's mostly women that usually go for a spa day for 8. So that's going to be an awesome auction item, I think, at least for the wives, in my opinion, because I'm going to be bidding on that one. So how can the community contact you? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you, either to do a foursome or to donate?
It would probably be on the Boots on the Green website,
okay,
which again is bootsonthegreen.cvma.com. And there they can donate, they can pay for the foursomes, they can do a sponsorship. Just as a reminder, the golf tournament is on November 13th.
And what time?
Registration's at 7 o'clock in the morning. The golf tournament starts at 8. And we do have opening ceremonies with a bagpipes. We have a color guard. We have the singing of the national anthem. We have an invocation by one of our members, Padre, who is a preacher. He has a church on South 12th. And we also have the opening remarks by our commander. So
excellent.
And then after that, the horn is blown, or however we started it last year. I can't remember. And everybody gets in their golf course and heads out to their starting holes.
And I remember that tournament. It was phenomenal. And I will be there again this year supporting you guys and all of our local veterans. So
plus, we also have that cool-down station, which is always great for everybody.
Oh, yes, the cool-down station.
Yeah, which is where we give free beer to our golfers. And they have 2 opportunities to stop at it because it's right at the crossroads.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. The Boots on the Green has free beer, but you gotta purchase the foursome. Oh my goodness. So that is about all we have time for here today, and I wanted to give you each the opportunity of any final thoughts or information for our listeners that maybe we didn't have a chance to talk about and that you want to make sure that they hear. And Candace, we're going to start with you. I know we went through a lot, we talked about a lot, but is there anything that you've got going on, any specials, any opportunities, anything that we didn't cover that you want our listeners to know about?
I'm actually kind of in between big events at the moment, which is sort of nice to have a little bit of a little downtime. But I would happily offer anybody who listens to this, a 50% discount on their session fee if they wanted to get a pet portrait or senior session.
Excellent. And I will make sure to put that on all of my sites, so when they come in, they'll have to make sure that they mention Connecting Tucson with Jaime to get that discount. But that is phenomenal. Thank you so very much. You don't have to offer that to me, but I'm still going to get that for you. So how can our listeners reach you? What's the best way? Phone number, email, website?
I can be reached by all of those channels. I'm on Facebook as Capturing Everybody Pet Photography. I have a website, capturingeverybody.com. Oh, no, sorry. My website is ceatonphotography.com. And then my phone number, 520-440-2167. You can call me, text me.
And you guys need to visit her site. The photos she's got there are phenomenal. I love the dogs. They're so cute. So anyways, thank you so much, Candace. And how about Jake? Or Paul, anything that we would like to mention that we haven't mentioned that you want to make sure our listeners know about?
Well, we do have every third Thursday of the month a bike night at Chewy's Mesquite Grill, which starts at 6. And the last one of the year is going to be this coming November, I believe. It'll be in November, our last one. We have one this month. I think, I don't know the date, but it's the third Thursday. And then we'll restart it back in February. And you don't have to own a motorcycle to come out and enjoy it.
I was just about to ask, do we have to have a motorcycle, or can we come join you guys?
You can come join us whenever you want. The food's good. There's drinks flowing, and there's usually live music.
Which Chewy's?
There's only the one Chewy's left in town now, and that's on 22nd and Kolb.
That is true, yes. I forgot that the other one's closed down on the way.
And Brian, the owner of Chewy's, is also active, very active in the CVMA, and also nonprofit organizations related to first responders and military.
Well, thank you so much. Paul, anything from you? Nope, you're good. All right. Okay. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming out and listening to us. That is all that we have for Connecting Tucson with Jaime, broadcasting from Mark Bishop Media here at Stewart Title Studios on Broadway in Tucson, Arizona. If you like the show, just let us know. You can find more information on Capturing Everybody Photography and the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, as well as the Boots on the Green Charity Golf Tournament on the Connecting Tucson with Jaime on markbishopmedia.com. Don't worry, we'll be sending these links out. As always, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and make a new connection. You never know where you can help or a connection that you might meet. Until next time, this is Jaime Overturf with Farmers Insurance. Keep on making a unique connection, Tucson.